En-Mao Smackdown review and results from the 9th of April 2015. Hi everyone and welcome to this week's Smackdown review and results show brought to you by me, En-Mao. This week's Smackdown comes to us from Dallas, Texas, and we're welcomed to the show by Byron Saxton, Tom Phillips and Jerry the King Lawler. There's still no Michael Cole though, and there wasn't any mention of Michael Cole throughout the night. Anyway, Daniel Bryan's music hits, and the Intercontinental Champion makes his way to the ring to chant of yes, yes, yes. We are then shown a recap of last week's show, where after a savage beating from Sheamus, Daniel Bryan eventually lost due to a count-out after interference from Bad News Barrett and his bullhammer. Daniel stands in the ring with stitches in his forehead from last week's beating. Daniel Bryan says that last week it was one of the best moments in his life, winning the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. He then goes on to do a John Cena, stating that he will defend his belt against all comers at any time. He says that he did this the night after WrestleMania against Ziggler, and then goes on to acknowledge Sheamus' interference that night after the grueling match against Ziggler. He then gets the crowd on side by saying that Sheamus looked stupid, and he didn't understand why Sheamus had attacked him and Ziggler, injuring the latter so that he couldn't compete last week on Smackdown and Raw. Daniel goes on to say that last week he challenged Sheamus regardless and was doing quite well until he was knocked inside the ring and cut his head open. That's when he saw Wade Barrett. Then in the middle of all this, Wade Barrett's music hits and he comes out to the entrance ramp. Wade says that he will tell people what happened, and he says that Daniel Bryan's magical week changed to a nightmare when Wade Barrett dropped him with a bullhammer. Daniel's nightmare starts again though when Sheamus' music hits and he comes out to stand alongside Wade Barrett. Sheamus says that Daniel shouldn't pick on people that were not his size. Sheamus and Barrett say that they are going to the ring to give the Munchkin a European ass kicking just because they can. They make their way to the ring and Bryan gets ready for the handicap beatdown. Just as they're about to enter, Dolph Ziggler's music hits and a massive crowd pop happens. The cavalry have arrived and Dolph Ziggler walks to the ring insulting both Barrett and Sheamus. Ziggler gets in the ring and says, if you want to fight, let's have a fight right now. Next in, Big Show's music hits and the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale winner Big Show starts to make his way to the ring. He says normally he and Sheamus don't see eye to eye, but he agrees about the pipsqueaks in the WWE and that they are a pain and that he wants some fun beating them up as well. It's now 3 against 2 and this isn't looking good for the underdog. That is until Roman Reigns' music hits to even the score. He makes his way to the ring through the crowd. Big Show threatens Reigns, saying that if he enters the ring, Big Show will seriously hurt. Big Show doesn't get round to finish his sentence as he's smashed in the stomach and taken down by a spear from Roman Reigns. The signals a brawl and it's all off. Ziggler goes for Sheamus, Bryan goes for Barrett, and Show is already getting his ass handed to him by Reigns. In a short battle that ensues, it ends up with the underdog standing in the ring after clearing the house. The big guys make their way back up the ramp, but that has set up tonight's main event for later. It was going to be Wade Barrett and Sheamus taking on Ziggler and Daniel Bryan in tag team action. Now add Big Show and Roman Reigns to the match, and it's now a 6-man tag team match. I look forward to this a lot later on. We're then told that The Miz will be hosting Miz TV on Smackdown tonight, and we are not told about who the guests are though that he's interviewing. My guess is it's going to be Damien Sandow. We are then told by Jerry Lawler that tonight Neville is going to be making his Smackdown debut. More on that later on. Tyson Kidd, Cesaro and Natalya are walking around backstage towards the ring and they are in action next. So after the break, the tag team champions are in the ring awaiting the New Day to make their way to the ring. Big E has the mic and shouts twice New Day. Both times the crowd reply with sucks. Big E complains about this and it definitely looks like a heel turn is on the cards for New Day. He tells everyone to stand on their feet and clap. The crowd clap and chant New Day sucks. I don't get why these three were put together in the first place. It just doesn't feel like it's working in my opinion. that someone at WWE must think that it's a good idea. The only one out of the three of them that seems like a possible heel is Big E. Kofi is known for being a good guy, and Xavier Woods is just known for, well, just being known. It feels like he's tacked on to the end just to make up the numbers. Anyway, back to the entrance, and the crowd are continuing to cheer about them sucking. Big E says that they come with positivity and that everyone in the WWE universe must love them in a preaching type of way, just because New Day is here for you, and he addresses the whole WWE universe. The motivational speech doesn't work, and the crowd finalise the New Day sucks chant. Then it's time for the match. Kid starts against Kofi Kingston, and it starts off very technical. An armbar reversed into leg locks and submission holds. Tyson Kidd then gets the upper hand and starts attacking Kofi in the corner. He goes for a flip and Kofi lands on his feet, and momentum takes him to the other side of the ring, where he nearly gets his head clotheslined clean off by Cesaro. The tag is made, and Cesaro mocks New Day's clap. Kofi makes it back to his feet, and Cesaro tags in Kidd, who does two moves and then tags Cesaro. Cesaro goes for a clothesline on Kofi, who dodges, and Cesaro goes over the top rope to the mat outside. Kofi tags in Big E, and they start clapping. Kofi then runs to the ropes, rebounds, and Big E launches him out of the ring and down onto Kidd and Cesaro. This is what I mean when I say Kofi is too good to be a heel. Aerial moves like that are usually for fan favourite wrestlers. Back to the match, and New Day now stand in the ring clapping. After the commercial, Tyson Kidd is attempting to fly from the top rope onto Big E. Big E catches him mid-air and then hits a belly-to-belly suplex. Tyson Kidd manages to tag into Cesaro while Big E slowly crawls to his corner. Cesaro stops him and just lifts him up with an amazing display of strength and power and turns it into a gut-wrench suplex. That was an amazing deadlift, to be honest. The match continues with Kidd and Cesaro double-teaming Big E in their corner. Eventually, Big E hits Cesaro and he flies back in a botched move. Big E follows up with a shoulder charge straight into the ring post as Cesaro sidesteps a charge. Cesaro then sets up the swing and starts spinning with Big E. Tyson Kidd runs in and drop kicks Big E while he's swinging. Cesaro goes for the pin, but Kofi saves. Both competitors get to their feet and Cesaro talks smack to Kofi while Big E gets up. Cesaro charges at Big E in the corner, but gets hit with a sideways slam. Both competitors crawl to their corner and both get the tag. Kofi takes to the air and starts knocking Tyson Kidd down over and over again. Kofi hits the boom drop and stands there clapping instead of going for the pin. Cesaro tries to attack Kofi, but Big E charges over while the ref is dealing with Big E. Cesaro punches Kofi in the head and he staggers straight into Tyson Kidd, who hits a swinging neck breaker sort of suplex and then gets a 3 count. Tyson Kidd and Cesaro, the tag team champions, are victorious again. We are now shown what happened last week on Raw regarding the #1 contender spot. You can see more on this from my review from last Monday night. I'll put a link down in the description box just in case you've missed it. The match is set for Extreme Rules pay-per-view, and it's now Seth Rollins versus Randy Orton for the World Heavyweight Championship. We are then told that the new face of Fear, Bray Wyatt, will be in action tonight, and we are then reminded that so will Neville on his Smackdown debut, and that is next. We come back from the adverts, and Curtis Axel is in the ring, and he says that on Raw 2 weeks ago he hit a little bump in the road after WrestleMania with his loss to Neville. Tonight he's going to make up for that and invoke his rematch against him. So WWE set Neville up against Curtis Axel 2 weeks ago, and I said how good Neville would be, and he would need a feud against a big competitor. WWE then put him in a match against the champ on Raw, and it kind of killed him straight off, in my opinion. I guess the debut on Smackdown is going to rebuild what they undid on Monday. Anyway, the man who Gravity forgot makes his way to the ring for his match against Curtis Axel. The match is very short, and it's pretty much the same as their previous match on Raw 2 weeks ago. It's a case of Axel not being able to hit the agile Neville. The match ends when Neville hits the red arrow and gets a 3 count. I have to say that the move looks amazing when he hits it, but there just seems to be something missing from Neville. Maybe it's a case of I haven't heard him on the mic yet. I just don't know what it is, but I'm not feeling the excitement since he was squashed by Rollins last week. I guess it's early days, and there's plenty of time to bring me round. but still, Neville wins his first debut match on SmackDown. Natalya, Cameron and Alicia Fox are backstage with Renee Young, and Renee asks them why they manipulated Kane into screwing Naomi out of her #1 competitor spot by asking for a Diva Battle Royale on Raw next week. They say that no one manipulated anyone and that they were just telling Kane how important the hashtag Give Divas a Chance is. I personally don't think so. Anyway, Natalya says that Naomi earned her #1 spot sarcastically. Cameron says that Natalya is still happy that she has a #1 contender match, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, as of Monday, Cameron will be the #1 contender. Natalya and Alicia Fox start fighting, and Cameron splits them up. And then we are reminded of the main event tonight, and the Extreme Rules pay-per-view on the 26th of April. We are then shown a Raw exclusive VT of the Divas match from last Monday night between Paige and Naomi versus the Bella Twins. For more on this match and a full lowdown, watch my Raw review. The link is in the box below. So Natalya makes her way to the ring to face off against Alicia Fox with Cameron as a special guest referee. We are also reminded that there is a match on Monday Night Raw, which is the Battle Royale for the #1 contender spot for the Divas WWE title, which will be coming from London in the UK. So the match starts off and Natalya gets an early lead. After several slaps, Natalya takes Alicia down with punches. They scuffle on the mat and Cameron breaks it up, reminding them that she is in charge. Natalya takes a lead, but she is Irish whipped into the corner and Alicia follows up with a big boot to the face. She goes for the pin and it's a 2 count. She hits a Northern Light suplex and gets another 2 count. After a while of headlocks from Alicia, Natalya starts fighting back and it's a cross body block. Another 2 count and a clothesline from Alicia Fox then takes Natalya down. Alicia starts preening and showboating and then hits a sunset flip on Natalya, who rolls straight through, gets up and locks in the sharpshooter. That's it, it's over. Alicia taps out straight away. Cameron shows off Natalya as the winner and then plants her with a devastating DDT. The match finishes with Cameron saying that she will be the #1 contender. She then also plants Alicia Fox with a DDT as well. We will see on Monday night. I have a feeling that Naomi will still win, but we will see. So next up is the new face of fear, Bray Wyatt, and he will be taking on his former friend and Wyatt family member Erick Rowan. I really don't get why the WWE ruined this weird family stable. It was one of the better stables lately that have come into the WWE, and I was hoping that they may get back together. After tonight, I highly doubt it. So we're treated to a VT about how and why Erick Rowan is like he is. Apparently, he was bullied for being different. I thought WWE was anti-bullying, but they're putting out the message: get bullied when you're younger, become the bully and get revenge when you're older. Well, that's the message I get anyway. So the creepy VT finishes, and it makes you believe that Erick Rowan is one messed up dude psychologically. There's still no explanation though as to why he wears the sheep mask, unless that's what Bray and Luke wanted him to dress up as, if you get my meaning. Bray Wyatt entering the ring, and although I love his crazy persona, I just don't like how long it takes him to get to the ring. Maybe the WWE should only do long entrances at pay-per-views, as his entrance with the scarecrows at WrestleMania was really cool. On Raw and SmackDown though, a 5-minute walk to the ring in darkness is not needed every time he enters the arena. Right, rant over. And now Bray is in the ring. It's time for his promo. I hope this is good and we get to find out who he's facing at Extreme Rules. Bray talks about the first time that he met Erick Rowan and how he was pretty much a social outcast because he was different. Bray says society was wrong, and where society saw failure, Bray saw possibility, and that's why he took Erick Rowan in and showed him the way of righteousness. He then says that there was a time that Bray was happy to call Erick Rowan his brother. He says he fixed him like a broken toy, and when the time was right, he had to release him into the world that was horrible to him, so he could see with his own eyes that evil is real. Bray then says that the WWE Universe is the reason that Erick is broken, and it's not fair that he has to fix him again. He says tonight he will teach Erick that you can't escape evil as it is in everyone, and he will show Erick this when he destroys him in the next match. Behold the new face of fear, and he drops to his knees, sadistically laughing. Erick Rowan's music hits, and he receives a great pop from the crowd. He makes his way to the ring and should be a good match after the build-up. The match starts and they lock up Bray with an early lead with punches and a headbutt. Rowan then returns the favour with punches and a headbutt, and then knocks Bray to the outside with a shoulder block. Bray gets back in the ring and hits the offensive. A pause in Bray's attack leaves him open for Rowan to start fighting back, and several headbutts later, Bray is on his arse in the corner again. Rowan attempts to charge the corner with his shoulder, but Bray steps aside and Rowan hurts himself. While he's injured, he staggers into a drop kick which sends him into a barrier on the outside. So after the break, we are back in the ring and Rowan is getting choked by Bray Wyatt. Erick Rowan fights back but gets hit then by a DDT. He then goes for cover but kicks out at 2. Bray starts punching and goes for a backdrop. Rowan lifts his knees and that hurt Bray Wyatt. Rowan fights his way back to his feet and he hits Bray with shoulder blocks and a clothesline, and an Irish whip into the corner ends with Rowan hitting the slowest roundhouse kick ever that floors Bray Wyatt. A 2 count and Rowan heads towards the top rope. Bray Wyatt rolls out the ring to safety and Rowan jumps down. I really thought that was going to be ace if he'd have hit a top rope move. Rowan goes charging around the ring, only to get caught by Bray Wyatt because he's playing possum and hits him with a massive clothesline, flooring him instantly. Bray hits a backdrop and then throws him into the ring. Bray starts attacking and then Rowan reverses and goes for what looks like a full Nelson slam. Bray fights out of this and hits a flying elbow off the ropes. Both men are down, and then Bray does that creepy upside down crab spider walk from the Exorcist movie. He is one creepy dude. Wyatt then picks up Rowan, hits his sister Abigail, and 1, 2, 3, it's over. Not a brilliant match, but a good setup for a possible future feud. After the match, Bray Wyatt sits in the middle of the ring holding Rowan and he starts cuddling him. He looks up and that's it. It cuts to the back where we see the Miz walking around, making his way to the ring for Miz TV. After the commercial, Smackdown returns and we get a Raw revival where it shows the Miz defeating Damien Sandow on Raw last Monday night. The Miz is now in the ring and he talks about his new film and how it's getting rave reviews. Then his co-star Summer Rae comes out and says that it's their movie, not just his. Miz says, think of it as him giving divas a chance. He then tells her to sit down and shut up because he's the star of the movie. Summer Rae corrects him and says he's the co-star of the movie. The Miz says that he made her a star, just like he made Damien Sandow a star. Summer Rae agrees and says Miz made Sandow a star when he got thrown out of the ring by Sandow at WrestleMania. This makes the Miz look pissed off. He gets the crowd going and says that the WWE Universe are trying to make Miz now into something he's not. Miz says that everyone won't remember Sandow soon. He then goes on to say that Sandow was fired twice from the WWE and it would have been a 3rd time if the Miz hadn't have saved his career. Miz says that he made him and gave him his opportunity. The Miz's music hits and Sandow makes his way to the ring. Miz taunts him all the way to the ring. They stand face to face and Miz continues to taunt him. Miz says he's willing to forgive and forget what has happened in the past 2 weeks because he's a charitable person. Miz though has to say I'm sorry though first and everything will go back to the way it was previously. Miz offers his hand and then rants about the WWE Universe and tries to justify the tough love to Sandow. Miz says he can get everything back on track for Sandow and tells him that the WWE Universe will forget about him if the Miz isn't with him. I actually think this is true, but whatever. Mizdow thinks about it and shakes Miz's hand and then apologises. He then says, I'm sorry, I didn't do this sooner, and then beats the Miz down with several punches to the face. The Miz escapes from the ring like a scolded dog and runs to the back. I guess that's the end of Miz TV. Not before Damien Sandow grabs Summer Rae and snogs her face off her in the middle of the ring. Summer looks stunned, but you can tell she liked it by the smile on her face. After the break, we're shown what happened 2 weeks ago on Raw when Sheamus returned. That means that it's time for the main event. Sheamus, Barrett and Big Show take on Daniel Bryan, Dolph Ziggler and Roman Reigns in a 6-man tag action. Bad News Barrett is first to the ring, followed by the Big Show, and then Sheamus, who comes out to a crowd of boos. Next out is Roman Reigns, who makes his way through the crowd Roman has a score to settle with the Big Show since he cost him the #1 contender spot on Raw when he knocked him out. Next out is Ziggler, and then it's Daniel Bryan. The crowd go absolutely crazy for the Intercontinental Champ. Will he get his revenge on Sheamus and Barrett tonight? So the match starts with Sheamus and Ziggler. Sheamus takes the early power and size advantage to Ziggler and then tags in the Big Show. He tosses Ziggler around like a rag doll and hits several stinging slaps to Ziggler's chest. Big Show tries to get some momentum by running into the ropes, but with a drop kick to the knees, Dolph chops a giant down to the mat. Ziggler then plants a Big Show with a massive DDT and goes for the pin. Big Show pushes him off and Ziggler tries to do a flying forearm, but he's just swatted out of the air by the Big Show. Show then drags Ziggler to the corner and tags in Wade Barrett. A neck breaker and a kick out. Then we are told by the commentators that Bad News Barrett has invoked his rematch clause and now Extreme Rules has another match. Wade Barrett versus Daniel Bryan for the Intercontinental title. This is shaping up to be a pretty decent pay-per-view. Barrett hits a wind of change on Ziggler, but there's another kick out. Barrett tags Sheamus and starts uppercutting and stamping on Ziggler. Ziggler fights back and the punches rain down, but Ziggler gets enough time and tags Daniel Bryan. Daniel dodges a clothesline and does a flying knee to Barrett, who isn't even the legal man, knocking him off the ring apron. Bryan punches Sheamus into a corner, who then Irish whips Bryan into the opposite corner. Daniel Bryan runs up the turnbuckle and backflips over Sheamus. A dodge of the first clothesline by Daniel Bryan, and then both hit a double clothesline. They're both down in the centre of the ring. Bryan gets up and he's pumped. The yes kicks pummel Sheamus, but he misses the final one. Sheamus gets up and runs at Daniel, who then tosses him out of the ring. Sheamus isn't happy, and just as he's getting to his feet, Daniel Bryan's suicide dives through the ropes straight onto Sheamus. He throws Sheamus into the ring, but as he does, Barrett hits him with a big boot to the face. We go to a commercial, and then after the commercial, we're back in the ring, and Big Show has got Bryan in a bear hug, and Bryan is fading. Show slams him down, and then hits an elbow drop. He tags in Barrett, who continues to beat down on Daniel Bryan. The crowd chant, "We want Roman," and Daniel Bryan fights his way out of a headlock. Barrett whips Bryan into the corner and follows up with a big boot, but nobody is home this time, and Daniel Bryan crawls towards his corner. He's just about to get there when he's stopped by a tagged-in Big Show. Big Show takes Daniel Bryan to their corner and continues to lose a beat down on it. Roman Reigns wants in on this match, and he's pacing the apron like a caged animal. Big Show has stunned Bryan, so now he runs and knocks Ziggler off the apron to the floor, and then stands there laughing at Roman Reigns. Big Show goes for a chokeslam, but Daniel Bryan reverses it into a yes lock. Big Show screams in pain, but seconds later just throws Daniel Bryan straight off him. I've never seen that move broken so easily. Big Show tags Sheamus, who goes after Daniel Bryan again. Sheamus sets up for a top rope suplex on Daniel Bryan, who fights back and then knocks Sheamus down with a flurry of punches. He then, from the top rope, hits a flying cross body, only to be caught in mid-air by Sheamus. Sheamus goes for the white noise, but Daniel Bryan reverses it into a powerful DDT. Daniel digs deep and tags Roman Reigns. Sheamus also makes a tag. Reigns unleashes the fury on Barrett with loads of forearms in the corner. Reigns then punches Barrett and nearly takes his head clean off. He continues the onslaught to Barrett on the mat. He then locks up a Superman punch and hits Big Show clean off the apron with it. Big Show goes down. Hashtag goodnight Giant. Reigns then loads another and hits Wade Barrett with a Superman punch. He goes for the pin, but Sheamus comes and saves. Dolph Ziggler then comes in to stop Sheamus attacking Reigns, but gets scooped up for a white noise. Dolph struggles off and it's a super kick to the jaw of Sheamus. He then catches the Celtic Warrior and takes him over the top rope, leaving Reigns and Barrett in the ring again. Daniel Bryan then runs and hits a flying knee from the ring apron on the Big Show, who's just getting up to his feet. Good night Giant again. Wade Barrett hits a massive kick to the side of Roman Reigns' head, and Reigns is stunned. Barrett steps back and starts winding up for the bullhammer, but just as he's about to do it, Roman Reigns hits a spear. 1, 2, 3, and Reigns gets a win. The crowd go crazy, and the underdogs have done it again. Smackdown goes off the air with Roman Reigns celebrating the win. Anyway, that's Smackdown done again for another week. I hope you enjoyed this review. I will see you next week for my Monday Night Raw review. And until then, bye for now. So, I hope you all enjoyed this week's Smackdown review. If you did, hit the like button and share the video with your friends. Please leave a comment about wrestling in the comment section, and please subscribe to my channel for more wrestling videos and gameplay videos. Click the screen in the centre now for more wrestling reviews, and once again, thanks for watching. I hope to see you on the next video, and until then, bye for now.